Alright, primer's on. Now I just gotta do the red. It's always more time consuming than you think. Just you gotta be careful because you don't want the paint to hit areas that you don't want it to show. So red I gotta be extra careful with because that's the final top coat. Alright. Yeah, somebody else last week said good luck to me. Now, I just want to say that I know it's just sometimes people use it as a saying, but I just want to make it clear I don't believe in that whole thing, that life being based on good luck, because it's not. Life is not based on luck, because believe me, if it was, I would say my life would be going by luck. 50-50, roll the dice every time. Roll the dice good, roll the dice bad, roll the dice good, and that's at best. That would be at best. In fact, I'd say in general, if I was to gauge myself by luck, I haven't done so hot. Truth is, your life is based on the choices you make and the attitude you carry. That's it. It's that simple. Make the right choices, carry a good attitude, keep calm, keep quiet, don't bring too much attention to yourself. You're good. On the opposite spectrum, do the wrong things, whatever it is, carry a bad attitude, or just that pissy, miserable, not so good attitude. That's how life's not going to go so well. It's really that simple. And then the other thing, trying to keep low key. People, a lot of people, most people that are successful in general are low key about it. They don't brag. They don't, open their mouth. They keep their mouth shut, and they just do what they got to do. Now, my problem in the past was I used to have a big fucking mouth. All right, I wouldn't keep shit to myself. The more I would have kept to myself certain things, the better off I would have been, and the better off things in general would have went. So that's another important thing. Okay. Just wanted to cover that real quick because it's just not based on luck. Let me tell you, if it was, then I've had one hell of a ride of bad luck. Alright, let's get this done. It's not though. Oh, and another thing I wanted to mention. 3 months ago, before I made a peep about any issues, right? Or having any issues, having any problems, no one said a word. No one thought a thing. And I kept to myself mainly. Just my small engine family on Instagram, but I pretty much kept to myself. As soon as you start that bullshit where you're complaining or you're acting like you're depressed or whatever, people immediately are gonna think, oh, that dude's either depressed or he's crazy, and stay away from him. That's just the way it goes. There's a stigma behind it. Now, I know on the other end of it, you could have someone doing bad and people want to help them out, help that person out, as far as charitable. But in general, you go around, open up your mouth, and you start talking about, oh, this happened, and this sucked, and this is, things aren't, winter sucks, and this, blah, blah, blah. That's immediately what people are going to think. He's not doing good. He's crazy. He's depressed, yada, yada. Which isn't true, and it's a stigma anyway. And like I said, everybody goes through their own shit in their life, okay? That's the way it is. Life isn't perfect. It can be hard. on everybody at some point. Harder for others. So some people it might last a little bit longer, whatever. But the more you show it, or the fact when you start showing it, that's it. That's what people start to think. So that's another thing. You don't, if you have, shit going on, keep that quiet too. If you need to deal with it, go deal with it. But you don't start, complaining to people, because then all of a sudden they're going to be like, oh yeah, he's fucked up again or whatever, So that's another thing. What's the best way of saying it? I guess the way you present yourself is how people are going to perceive you. Pretty much is basically the best way to say it. Let me get this thing painted red. It's already like 1:30. We gotta go get that tractor, and I want to do it before rush hour starts. Out there on 9 to 18. Forget that. Let's finish this up. But my point was, I had this one other thing to say. My point was, before I made a peep, people were saying, "Nah, you're a stand-up guy," and people were saying, looks like you finally got your shit together, and that's the way I want to be thought of, not this bullshit from the past. Okay, yeah, I had a little, rough time from some bad memories of things that could have totally been avoided. Shit happens, bring it up. It's a past. Get over it. That's it. That was my point. Let's finish this deck up. There's one more thing I had to touch on, because one of my best friends who passed away met up with this girl that I knew, and this girl said that I had emotional problems, that I was Polish, and that there was one more. Oh, I don't get it. No, I don't have emotional problems. Okay, when I was using drugs, yeah, of course, I had issues. Alright, who doesn't? Okay? But when I'm myself, I'm perfectly fine. Right now, if she was a roll-up, or anybody for that matter, I would have no problem talking to anybody, socializing. I'm past that. The Polish thing, which had to have meant I'm retarded. Also, not true. There was a time when I was a burnt out pothead. Never retarded. Absolutely not. And I've shown that. I've shown that in the way, how I'm mechanically inclined, the way I speak, the way I present myself. I've shown it in my college grades. Okay? And the I didn't get it thing, nah, that wasn't it either. I refused to get it, because I finally had it figured out. I finally got it as far as how this chick operated, and that's it. She didn't want to have nothing to do with me anymore, and it got to that point where I refused to let up. It wasn't because I didn't get it. I understood just fine. Okay? It was, nah. Not after all the time and effort I put in. Because I really did genuinely care. I was like, I am not letting up that easy. Okay? So it wasn't about not getting it, me not getting it. It was I refused to get it. Okay? So I battled it. And in the end, fighting it didn't help any. It just made it worse and dragged it out further. In fact, when it first went sour, if I had just let her be over a long period of time, things probably would have healed themselves. But because I had to continue to hammer on it, it just got worse. Things just ended up getting worse, to the point they would never be repaired again. So it's key for me to mention that. So, alright, let's get this deck finished. Yeah, in fact, here's a prime example of quote-unquote luck right here. It didn't call for it to rain today. It started to drizzle while I was painting that, so I had to rush it a little bit. So I know I got a little bit on the decals, and the paint can was spitting. For whatever that particular red, it likes to spit. You know, it likes to come out spitting, which is a pain. But look, now I gotta cover it up. Luckily I finished it just in time, hopefully. I had to rush a bit, so if I missed anything, I gotta go back to it. But yeah, it should be all right, as long as it doesn't get wet. If it gets wet, we would have been screwed. All right, so I'll show that once it's back on the mower. Unreal.